Nathan, and I'm going to be talking about my favorite sneakers in my own sneaker collection. I brought like 17 pairs down to college, so I'm just going to review like a couple of my favorite ones. Many of the sneakers in this video are going to be Adidas Yeezy. It's just shoes I have here down at college. I do have a couple Nike ones, as you saw in the intro, but the ones I'm going to be reviewing today are the Adidas Yeezy models. So to start off, we have the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2. I've got a couple colorways of this. I got the Sesame, which came out in 2018. I have the MX Rock, came out in 2021. And this is the weird model. This is kind of an offshoot. It's the 350 V2 Compact in the Panda colorway. Which I think these came out in 2023. I think that's when I bought these. To start off, all these models have a similar outsole. They're all the same. It's a full boost midsole, hence the Yeezy Boost name. Boost is Adidas like proprietary cushioning technology. Personally, my favorite cushioning technology out of the major brands. Nike Zoom X is a close second, but Boost is durable and is still super comfortable. The full-length Boost midsole is covered with a thin rubber. It's not too thick, and all across the side it's got a rib texture. I don't know what it's for. Looks a little cool. I don't know. The outsole, the traction pattern on these things, not great. That is the one thing I would say is not great about these. If the floor is wet, you're slipping around. Don't play basketball on these. Awful idea. Moving up, we have the Prime Knit upper, which that'll be different on the compact model. I'll talk about that later. It's a two-piece Prime Knit, which you can see on the Sesames. It's stitched up the middle and stitched up the back. So it's two pieces, they stitch them together. Really nice. It's a little stretchy, not too stretchy, but it hugs your foot pretty well. These laces, you can use them. They don't really do anything. The shoe's already meant to like hug your foot. I just have the factory knot in here. I just don't tie them, honestly. There's not really a point. On the back, there's a back tab, which not every model of the V2s has a back tab. Just on a couple of them, I really like the back tab. Both of mine have the back tab. It's just something I like aesthetically. It doesn't really give any, there's not really a purpose for it, as you just use this one to pull it on and this one to jam your foot in there. Many of the 350 V2 models have, if you could see, it's got a little stripe all the way from the back of the foot to the toe of the foot. Many of them have this, sort of just part of the pattern they got. This one, it's a newer model, so they were using different materials, so it's kind of plasticky, but on older models it's just regular knit. On this one, it's got a weird one. I don't know, it's hard to see, but you can kind of see it right there. It's kind of a wavy one. This is very unique. It's not on any other model, just the Sesames. Kind of a cool thing. I like it, but nothing too noticeable. Moving inside, it does have just a regular Adidas Yeezy insole. There's nothing to it. Maybe a millimeter thick. Doesn't really do anything. Take it off to out if you want some more space in there, because sizing is a little weird on these. There's little to no branding on this, but on the back tab there is the 3 stripes for Adidas, and there is the Yeezy logo in the inside. Also on the inside, you got sort of a heel counter. Doesn't do a ton, it's just kind of glued in there, but it's nice to have for a little cushioning. There are a couple features on the MX Rock that I'd like to point out. This has different materials, so a lot of it is recycled plastics compared to the 2017 pair, 2018 pair here. All new materials, this is recycled materials, which is kind of noticeable if you look in the light. You can see a little reflective. That's just the plastics they weave in there. The pattern we got in here is kind of unique. There's only, I think there's 4 colors that are like this. This was, I think, the second color to come out like this. Kind of like a mix of black, brown, and white, and gray. It looks really nice on foot. If, like, from far it's just a black shoe, but if you look up close, it's got a lot of detail. So, also street stripes in there, similar to the other one, just a basic Yeezy mid insole. Nothing to it. Got the size tag in there. It does also have the toe counter and the heel counter. So yeah, that's the basic 350 V2 model. This is the Adidas 350 V2 Compact. The only similarity I can find from this shoe to the regular 350 is the midsole. There's nothing really the same about it. The entire upper is different, but other than the midsole and outsole, it's like a completely different shoe. So, starting off, this is also a prime knit material just like the V2s, except it's got elastic stretched in. It's super stretchy, like really stretchy. Get this on, there's no pull tab like there is in the regular V2s. You just kind of like squeeze it open. It's really elastic, so super easy to get in there. It's basically just a sock for your foot. Laces, kind of an interesting thing here. Don't tie them. Just don't tie them at all. To tighten them, you just kind of pull, which again, like the 350 V2s, don't need to tighten these. There's no point for the laces. It already really hugs your foot just like a sock. There's no point for these laces. So I just keep them like factory, nothing to it. It's kind of interesting here too. There's no like specified holes like the 350 V2 regular ones. There's like holes drilled into the upper here and a counter on the inside for support. These, it just goes straight into the prime knit using that 3D weaving technology they have. Straight into the prime knit, kind of pulls up the sides. Again, the laces don't really do anything. It's just kind of there for aesthetics. Moving inside, another cool thing about this is if you have problems with insoles, there is no insole in here. It's basically just a sock. I don't know if you can see, but it just goes straight in there. It's practically just a sock. There's not a ton. It's just a one-piece upper. There is something I would like to mention. Underneath the laces, there is a pillow. It's a piece of padding in there. My favorite feature on this shoe. Again, it's just like a sock on your foot with that super comfortable boost midsole. But on top, it's like pillows on your feet. This is the most comfortable shoe in my collection, which is why it's one of my favorites. Anytime someone asks for like a shoe recommendation, I tell them 350 V2 compacts. These are the shoes to go for if you're looking for super comfortable pillow-like shoes. These are weird sizing. The 350 V2s, you want to go half a size up, so just because the toe box gets kind of narrow towards the end and your toes, I don't know, they kind of jam up. So I'd recommend a half size up so your feet are like sitting around here, so you actually have some space for your toes. On the V2 compacts, they actually fix the toe box. It does look a little narrow, but that's just because of the side prime knit here. It's a little darker. I'd go just normal. I did go half a size just in case because I didn't know. When I purchased these, they were a $200 shoe, and I just want to make sure they fit me. You couldn't return them. Just a little big on me. My toes sit around here. Not terrible, but since there is no insole and there's nothing really tightening it down, the laces don't really do anything. my feet just kind of slide around in there just a little bit, but it's not bad. It's still super comfortable. I recommend just going your normal size and shoes that you wear right now, just like Nike's. Adidas Yeezy 450 in the Cinder colorway. These are one of my favorites just because how wacky they look. Like one of my most interesting pairs of shoes, similar to the 350 V2s and the compact ones. The upper is a prime knit, super stretchy, just like the compacts, sort of like a sock there, sort of like a sock here. You actually tie these. They do a little bit. The Yeezys don't really tie that well. They're just kind of there for aesthetics. If you wore these without laces, it would be the same exact thing. But this prime knit really hugs your foot. It's basically just a sock. That is essentially what this shoe is. There is a midsole, which goes all the way up, and an outsole glued on. This is actually rubber with a little tread. I'd say it's a little more traction than the V2s, just because it's got that wavy pattern in there. You can really dig into the ground, but still not that much. It's not great. Got the tiniest Adidas logo right there. That's pretty much all the branding on the shoe. There's nothing else. So people look down, they don't even know what brand the shoe is or what kind of shoe this is. They always have to ask. It's the midsole. It's kind of squishy, not as good as Boost, obviously. They injection mold it. You can sort of see it on the toe. It's like actually molded into the knit here. They basically take the sock. There is an Adidas Yeezy insole in here. A little more, it's got little density foams in here. A little more comfortable because there's no Boost. But essentially, you can't even see in there. But if you could see in there, it's just a sock. You can see the knit all the way through to the bottom, and then there's just foam injected into it. So this is probably the most durable pair of shoes. Like, your midsole is not falling off. There is actually no way for it to fall off. It's injected into the shoe. In reality, this is a three-piece shoe. You got the prime knit, you got the midsole, and you got the outsole glued on. There's not really much to it, and I don't know, I like the simplicity. Looks a little weird, kind of like it. These claws give you support on the sides, a little arch support here, which they're Yeezys, you don't get a lot of arch support. It's kind of nice that they have a little right here. Interesting shoe, one of my favorites because of that. These aren't terrible to buy right now. You can probably get a pair used for maybe $100. I bought these used really in like really good condition for like 90-ish bucks on GOAT. I would recommend these to, I don't know, people who want to stand out. My brother has a pair in like a tan color. He wears them for his daily drivers. There is a little flaw on this shoe that I would like to point out too. These claws come up, and usually I have no issue with the claws coming up. You know, you're bending your foot and they don't really get in the way, except for this little one right here. It sits right over my pinky toe. It's already like a super small toe box. Always go up a half size in Yeezys. It's already a little small of a toe box, so my pinky toe is sitting right on the edge here. And it's bending over and over. So like a good 5 miles, my pinky toe's not doing great. My brother, he seems to not have any problems. He wears them every single day. School, gym, outside, yard work, literally everything. And they're still holding up really well. Really durable shoe, really interesting looking. That's the only thing I'd like to point out. Make sure you go half a size or else your feet are not fitting in this toe box. But Adidas Yeezy 450. So those were a few pairs in my own sneaker collection. Just a couple of my favorites. Just some of the stuff that I like to go over. If you ever need any sneaker advice or sizing advice, anything at all about shoes, I mean, I'm your guy. I can give you the ins and outs. If you need something in a shoe, I can probably find a pair that works just for you. I know my family's had some success coming to me for some shoe advice. So hopefully, if you need any shoe advice, I can be the same help as I did with my family.